ways to get listings, but I want to ask a question. Good heavens, excuse me. I got too much bouncing in here. Can you let me know what you think? What is the top way that you're getting listings? Ah, darn it. What is the top way that you're getting listings? Because I'm just kind of curious, because I think everybody, I'm having a lot of conversations with people, and I'm hearing, and because everybody wants listings, and I understand, I mean, it's nuts what's going on in the real estate market. I know everybody thinks it's super acute in their own neighborhood. It is a problem across the country. There are plenty of reasons why. Excuse me. So let's talk about, let's hear what you guys are thinking. I'm just kind of curious. Referrals. Yeah, referrals, good. Past clients. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you something here, guys. There's a lot of ways to get listing leads here. I'm going to show you, I have this conversation almost every week on, almost every 2 or 3 times a week with agents asking me, what do I do to run an ad on a home value ad on Facebook? Like, and I can just tell you, you can go into ads, you can click create a landing page, click create home value, leave on lead ads, and you're going to get leads with phone numbers. It's just that these are the weakest leads for getting listings of all of our tools. Okay. For some people, it actually works, but I don't know if you've seen an ad like, what is your home worth? Click here to get your free home. I don't know if you've seen that on Facebook before, but let me tell you, agents around the United States have been doing this for at least 5 years. So it's a fairly well played out strategy. And more bothersome is Facebook has had some real problems in their own company with targeting, illegal ads, you know, election manipulation, all this stuff. So they have to change what they're doing, and your ability to target is super weak. Okay. So if you want listing leads that turn into listing contracts, this is the second to the last thing at the bottom of my list of what to do. Okay. Now we're going to get into the top things in just a second, but I just want that to be straight for everybody. It is a way to advertise and get listing leads. It's just not the best way. It's not even close to the best way. Okay. So I asked a question. I know people are logging in. I asked a question up front. What are you guys doing to get more listings? And Tony here is saying some Zillow, some in sphere of influence, and that's good. And we definitely believe in the sphere of influence, especially of your clients. I noticed that Steven likes referrals also. And so I'm going to show you some tools here that work with sphere of influence and really get you more something that's like a referral. And Buddy here, he's using Google. Yeah, and that makes sense. I know that Google can be effective in getting listing leads. It's pricey. It's not cheap like Facebook, but it can be effective. 2 things to kind of get into that I want you guys to know right up front is we're about to add Google AdWords to our system. If you click in ads right now, you probably know that we have built-in integration and software from Facebook and Instagram. So these ads that I'm going to show you are going to get you more, more leads from Facebook and Instagram. But we are working right now on integrating Google. So Buddy's using Google, and I'm sure many of you have used Google. Google is great. It's just a different platform. It's a little more complicated. And we're just like we simplified Facebook ads down to just a couple clicks. We're going to do the same for Google. So, kind of watch our space for that. But let's get into the top way first, okay? And to show you that, I'm going to go into the Mastermind Group. So first of all, if you're a client, you should be in the Mastermind Group. And if you're going to write down anything today, I would really recommend that you write down these 3 names. Now there's a magnifying glass, so you can search this group, and I would check out Chris Winstead. Okay, there are 3 names. The first one we're going to talk about is Chris Winstead. This guy here moved to San Antonio, Texas, a couple years ago, out of state. So all he had was license, had no name recognition, joined a new office, moved into a great neighborhood, and decided, I want to be the man in this neighborhood. I want to build my brand and be this guy. And so he found our top tool, because he probably listened to this call, and I've been talking about this tool for years. This is our top tool to get more listings. It's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. Okay, so if you're thinking Facebook ads is the top way to get listing leads, you're wrong. The top way is actually a print letter. Okay, it's pretty old school, right? If you click on listings, this letter I'm talking about is underneath every one of these listings. This letter I'm talking about, it's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. It works if you got a home that's just listed, under contract, open house, or sold. Doesn't really matter. And a lot of our clients will use it twice per listing. Like this one here, I have an open house, right? So I have an open house, and I could do all the fun stuff, run ads on Facebook. But if you want more listings, you get the Nearby Homeowner Letter. It's the 5th tool down here. And you can download any version, whichever you think is prettiest. You just download that here. And let's get into what it looks like. Now, this is not artificial intelligence. This is not, super high tech. This is a piece of paper that you download. If you want to door knock it, go right ahead. We've got clients getting listing leads from door knocking, even in this market, even with COVID and all that stuff, right? Nobody answers the door anyway, but they will pick this piece of paper up. And if they're interested in their home's value, and you're talking about an open house here, and you say, hey, I'm selling a home in your area. By the way, that's going to affect your home value. Get your free home value here. You know what? People are going to take this piece of paper in their house, go to their own computer, type in that wacky address, go here, put in their address and then their email address. And you know who's going to do that? The people who are simply really interested in finding out what their home is worth. These are really good leads. These are the highest quality leads. And our clients are telling us that every time that they send out 100 or 200, they're getting 1 or 2 listings, right? The examples come in the Mastermind Group all the time. Now, I see some questions here. If you're not the listing agent or selling agent, can you use that letter? Yes, Leah, you can. So if you go to the listings page, and where this really kind of works for all of you, many of you are part of an office where you can borrow a listing. You can even borrow a listing when it's sold, right? And you can go right here and you can either grab it if it's active. So let's say you're sitting on somebody's open house, you can click grab active listing and you can pull a listing in with just the zip code and the MLS ID, right? And you deselect this so we don't make a YouTube video for you. And you grab it and it pulls it in and it's going to sit right on this list, and you're going to have the tool that I'm talking about, the #1 tool to get more listings, okay? If it's sold, you're going to have to do it manually. And we're not like an MLS. It's not like 100 data points. It's fill these things out, put in a couple pictures. This is important if you've got a sold property in a neighborhood. If you want a listing in a neighborhood where you have no listings, you have no business, but somebody recently sold one, you can just enter it here, right? If you need to put anything like listing courtesy of whatever, put it in the description, or put it up in the banner, right, where it says just listed or by whoever, courtesy of whatever. That will drop the listing into your account. So if you've got agents that don't have business, but they want more business and they want more listings, that's something that I would definitely be recommending that you do, okay? So once it's there, and this one is sold, so let's click on here, there's always a Nearby Homeowner Letter, and you can decide which one you want, and then you use it, right? You download it, and right now, you got to download it, and then you can either stuff it in an envelope and mail it, we're going to talk about that in a bit, or you can door knock it, right? But most of our clients don't want to be door knocking, and so they are mailing it. But we're going to talk about that and get into some detail. So this video I was showing you is, Chris, and he said, hey guys, I got 5 listings in 3 months. This is after the guy just moved to San Antonio, Texas. Like nobody knew who he was. So he's making this video, looks good. But he says, I send out that letter every other week to neighbors who've owned their homes for 5 years or more. Okay. Now he bought that list, I think, from Remind, but there are a number of ways you can get it. Sometimes your MLS. I was just talking to somebody from Better Homes and Gardens. It seems like they have that data set available all across their whole platform. So if you can get your hands on a list of people with equity, that's really what it's about. If you want to do what Chris is doing, he's mailing it every other week to the same list. And once they opt in on the home value part, he hits them up every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. So let me be clear, there is work involved, right? Follow-up is where the money is. And this guy is saying, this is what I do every week, and that's how I get 5 listings in 3 months when nobody even knows me and I just moved in, right? If there are any questions on this, please let me know. This is the letter. It's the nearby homeowner letter. We generate it on every listing. Even if you borrow a listing, we generate that, okay? Now, the thing about what Chris is doing is he's doing it all by hand, right? Now, what I want to tell you is that on this page, in probably 30 to 60 days, and it's the middle of March right now, we're going to have an integration with a new company called Express Copy. And so you see this sad story here where Chris has got to download this letter and he's got to send it out. The agents like this are downloading it, they're stuffing it in envelopes, they're putting them in colorful envelopes. Some people are even handwriting the stuff because they don't want this letter to get thrown away, because they know that when it gets opened, they get listings. So if you want listings, you got to kind of think about that, right? But he's got to do it all by hand. And in a few more weeks, we're going to have a new partner right here that you're going to say, I want people with this much equity, and I want 100 or 200 pieces to go out in this zip code. We're going to automate that for you. As you know, if you've noticed for a while, we've got a lot of powerful tools. Our goal this year is to make it easier and easier to get those tools out. So that's going to be exciting. As soon as that happens, I'm going to be jumping up and down all day. Let's see. This is being recorded. So we've got 2 questions. One, is this recorded? And let me just answer that real quick. You should all be in the Mastermind Group if you're a client. And you can always come into the Mastermind Group and scroll down, and the recordings are right here. You'll know that they're here because it's going to say recorded webinar right on the top. All right. So if you don't like, you see this one, recorded webinar, right? If you want recorded webinars, they're always here. And this call that we're doing right now, I do like every 2 weeks. I talk about what's the latest, but this story I'm telling you now is always kind of part of the mix, right? Because this letter here is our number 1 tool, because it just keeps generating listings for people. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this guy, Chris. When he moved to San Antonio there 2 summers ago, no name, moves into a town with his wife and kids because his wife's family is there. They want the kids to be together. He is now like one of the top listing agents, I think in his office, but I think he said in San Antonio. And he is actually doing his own tutorials on our system now because he's setting up his own office, and he's going to use this to recruit because he can tell people, I can get you more listings. So if you want to learn some really kind of cool techniques, he did another little video right there. But you can go check him out. He's got all kinds of stuff. He keeps talking in here because it keeps working out. Another guy to look at, well, actually, I'm gonna show you a lady here, Alicia Plus. Now, Alicia would come in here and she was saying, look, every time I mail this out, I get more listings, right? And wouldn't you love to have an action in your business that every time you do it, you get more listings? Well, you can just watch this lady, right? What she learned, again, from one of our calls is, don't let this look like junk mail. Make this look custom, and then get it out. And you can hear, she says here, like, I got my 3rd house in 6 months in the same subdivision. Listings to Leads works if you work it. Let me tell you something about that subdivision. It only had 50 homes in it, 50. Now, I know, and you know, it's hard to sell a home right now. It's hard to get listings. There's so many reasons why. People sold and sold and sold the past few years. Now, you know, if you sell your home, where are you going to buy a home? Like, yeah, I know it's difficult, but you also know that it is really difficult to help buyers, right? I mean, how many homes are you going to show and get outbid for your clients? Having listings is going to help you earn. That's really the bottom line here, guys. I don't know, you know, that's really what it is. You can market, you can get more buyers, you're gonna need more listings. And that's why I'm kind of, you know, going up and down on this. And I'm gonna tell you one more time this letter and then we'll move on. Dustin Fox, just south of Washington, DC. Same letter, mails it to 250 homes, first class, because he wants people to open it, right? And he pulls out 10 listings in mailing to 250 homes. It cost him $625, right? That's a good chunk of change, but he gets 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000. So he's saying our highest ROI is that flyer. Dustin, when he wrote this in 2018, that's a few years back, was a rookie 2-year agent. He is now one of the stars of that office. And I guarantee you, and he told us in another call, he went from 5 million in that second year to 20 million in 2 years, 20 million production. And he says 80% of his business is coming from our tools at Listings to Leads. So you can read up everything that Dustin is saying. He'll tell you, and the comments here, there are over 200 comments. I guess somebody's excited. One comment that he put in is like, hey, we're paying somebody to hand write these things. This guy wants this letter opened because it's his top way of getting listings, okay? So that's my story about the #1 way of getting listings. So I want to kind of point out that this is related to listings, right? There are ways to get these seller leads from ads, and there are ways to get seller leads from landing pages, but this is just about listings. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my open house and I'm going to tell you there are some really great tools to help you get leads. I know a couple of you, I asked at the beginning of the call, how you get lead, how do you get listings? And you're telling me referrals and sphere of influence. And that makes a lot of sense because capturing an online lead from the internet and converting that, it takes some talent and skill and, you know, time. But what about getting leads from your clients and your clients' friends and family and colleagues? That's going to be a little bit better for you. So let's talk about how you do that. So this is a listing that is an open house. I'm going to click on share seller social media and look at this cool tool. It says, hey, we're having an open house and you at your office is doing a lot of market. We expect great turnout. Please share this, right? This is your client's sphere of influence. Where do you think you get referrals from? From random strangers that your clients meet on the street? No, it's their friends and their family and their colleagues. And where are they sharing all their favorite fun stuff that they do and eat and travel to? But on Facebook. We send this tool to you automatically. Every time you have a listing, every time you change a status, we send you this tool. And you may not know what in the world Scott and I are talking about, right? But it's actually a tool to help you get more leads. Now, if you forward it to them and you call them for 5 seconds, say, hey, would you put that on your wall? Well, this is going to be on their wall. It's not for your social media. We got your social media covered. It's for theirs. And it'll be on their page. So all their friends and family are going to see it. And when their friends and family and colleagues click on it, it's going to drive them to a page, right, that we created for you. So obviously now this is going to be like, oh, I can become a buyer lead here, right? Because this is an open house. But also, we always ask on all of our tools, we always say, hey, that's going to affect your home value. Do you want your home value, right? You scroll down, we're talking about an open house here still, but we know that buyers are often sellers just researching the market. So we're going to just put a big old footer here. what is your home worth, right? Even up top, what is your home worth here, right? We know, and you know, that people are out there looking, if they want to sell a home, you probably think they wake up and they just start calling random realtors around the country in their neighborhoods. They don't. They research for weeks and often months before they ever talk to a realtor, right? So why not market your listings as you have them and give them multiple opportunities to find out what their home is worth at the same time, okay? So that's what our single property websites and our virtual tours on our EFlyers are doing, but we're driving people there from your clients, friends, and family and colleagues, right? We email this tool to you all the time. I suggest you open it, just follow the instructions, send it to your client, call them for 5 seconds, say, hey, I know you get 100 emails just like I do. Would you take the one that I sent you and copy it and put it up on your Facebook wall? I'm doing all this other stuff, but we want a lot of people at your home, right? We want to fill that up and get you multiple offers. So please do that. Now, let's imagine that you sell the home. We have another tool for the homeowner. It says, hey, our home is sold and we want to recommend you for doing an excellent job. And here is your phone number and email automatically in front of all my friends and family and colleagues on Facebook, right? It's basically a pre-written testimonial. If you flip your property to sold in our system, we're going to email this to you. I recommend that you use this. I recommend that you get our social media story in your listing presentation so that when you're going on a listing presentation, you're able to say, I'm auto posting to YouTube, to Facebook, to Twitter, to LinkedIn, to Instagram. I'm capturing leads for your home. And I even have tools for you. You have tools I'm going to share so we can get as many offers as we can. That's a really great line in a listing presentation, right? So what happens if somebody clicks here? Now that the property is sold, what's it going to look like, right? Where is that friend or family going to go to? Well, it'll go to a sold single property website. And what's different about a sold single property website? Well, it certainly has all the, what is your home worth? But the call to action that pops up says, get your free home value. We're not looking for buyers with sold advertising, guys. We're looking for sellers. If a home is pending, under contract, active contingent, or sold, we're offering free home values as the call to action. So you definitely want to flip your property to sold, right? You just do it right here. You go from in contract to sold, right? And just sold listing agent if you want. And that's how you get those tools. So I see some questions here. Feel free to lay them in. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's answer some questions. Okay. I have a team of 4. I want to use their individual pictures instead of the team logo. Tony, you need a team account. Email me at vince@listingstoleads.com. If you want, I have a team, I want to use their individual pictures instead of a team logo. Yeah, it sounds like you need a team account. We have discounted team accounts, Tony. It sounds like you have an agent account. I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. For the return address, do they put the company address if you want to live in the same subdivision? That I want to farm your personal residence, let's say if you are in a gated community. Yeah, oh, okay, got it. Okay, I kind of think that one. Okay, so Kat's got a kind of a long question about subdivisions. So let me hold that question right there. We'll talk about that in just a moment, Kat. Let's finish what we have here. Let's just wrap up what's happening with listings, right? So listings, the nearby homeowner letter, top tool, the seller social media tool, use this. There's an EFlyer too, but I don't know if the EFlyer is as effective as the, I think that an EFlyer for your seller, it might get glanced at and then it just disappears. The seller social media stays on your seller's wall, so you could be getting listing leads at random times for free forever, right? Now there's an EFlyer for your database. This is a really important tool in general marketing, right? If you're using our system, even if you borrow a listing, we're creating EFlyers like this. So if you're using, your own CRM and you got hundreds or thousands of leads in there, you need to be using this at least every week or every 2 weeks. You copy it here with a copy button, you go to your stuff and you paste it in and you blast it, okay? It's HTML when you're copying it, so you need to make sure that it's ready to accept HTML, then you click a button and it looks graphic like this and then you blow it out. So here it says, hey, open house this weekend, right? If you click on that picture, you click that link, you're gonna go become a buyer lead. But we're also gonna say when it's sold, it affects your home value. So click here, and go become a seller lead. Go get your free home value. You can do this with borrowed listings, but if you're somebody with thousands of leads in your database, you should be using this every week on any listing at any status, okay? So that's really, these are the tools on the listing side. Now I will say this, we have a company here that does postcards and door hangers, right? And a lot of people like postcards and door hangers, one, because they're cheap to get out, and two, they're easy to get out. And we actually have a company here, Prospects Plus, that works with a lot of our clients, works with us. They know what they're doing if they're getting. So if you want to download it and send it to Prospects Plus, great, right? Because if you look at it, you can't quite see it. On one side, it says open house. On the back side, it says this will affect your home value. So go to that, take this postcard and put it over there and go to your computer and go get your free home value. Now, I bring it up because just an overall discussion of print. I have been talking to realtors for over 10 years, and they mail stuff out with no concept of ROI. What's your return when you send out 200 postcards? I don't know. Literally, I have no idea, right? Their phone doesn't start blowing up, right? That's not what's happening. They're just branding, and that's cool. We're pro branding, right? Everything we do is about reinforcing your brand. But your business grows and our business grows when you get more contracts, when you sell more stuff, when you help people buy homes. So this here, when you do this, you're going to start feeling like, oh, I actually am getting listing leads. But the thing about print on postcards, just from my personal perspective, I sort my mail before I even get in the house, guys. Like if it looks like junk, it's out. It doesn't even get in my house. Postcards don't get in my house, right? Unless there's a coupon on it from Ace, but that's about it. So, you know, do they work? Are they easy? Yes. You might want to do it because it's fast and easy. Prospects Plus will do it for you. Definitely recommend it. It's got home values built into it. I want to use the letter on Facebook. Will LDL pull the properties that have sold near the homes? No. I don't know what you mean that you want to use the letter on Facebook. I don't even know what that means. Can you get a domain that you want instead of address at Best Listings? Yes, Adna, you can get domains from a number of companies, including GoDaddy. Yeah, so then you can repoint it. You can say, I want anybody who goes there to go there. Yeah, you can do that, no problem. Yeah, for the return address, oh yeah, so Kat's story, Kat's community. So let's talk about that. And let's talk about landing pages, okay? Feel free to throw your questions in there, guys. I am taking a little breath and going over. So there's a section in all of your accounts called landing pages. And you have unlimited landing pages, right? Now, we give you these three: free home values, down payment assistance, and new construction. And you can look at the landing. If you click on the eyeball, you can see it right here, right? So that's integrated with all your tools by default. This is a fairly generic look, this little background, right? If you live in something that doesn't look like that, you can always click edit and change the background picture to look like your neighborhoods where you live, right? I would definitely recommend that. Generic is not good when asking people for their address and contact info. And really where it gets down to, so Kat was asking about a development, right? And you see I've got one here for Release Valley. Release Valley is like a sweet little neighborhood here in my town. And you just go to create landing page, create a property valuation plus, and you name it whatever development you want to have it, like here's mine, Release Valley, right? Now, I'm not going to do it because I've already got one baked over here, but this is my landing page for Release Valley. So Kat, I don't know what development you're talking about. I'm sure there's a name, and you can see that the name is just popped in, but you want to customize that photo so that people know what you're talking about, right? That you want people to know that you know what you're talking about, this area. Now, you guys probably don't know Release Valley. It's a really nice area, and there's really only one street that gets into it, like out of our main town, Lafayette. One road, and everything back there is like multi-acre, it's gorgeous. And there's a swim club right at the beginning of it. So if you know Release Valley, you know that swim club. And now if I'm gonna ask somebody's address and contact info, I am letting them, I'm building trust right from when the minute they look at this, like, oh, this person knows our swim club. Okay, here's my address, right? So that's how you create it. Now, what do you do once you've created it? Once you clicked edit and you put the photo in the background, what should you do? I recommend you click advanced options and you go over here and you go to print marketing and you download a very similar letter to that nearby homeowner letter, right? Now, there is a pencil here so you can edit it. And I actually would recommend that you do edit it because it's a one-page letter. There's the pic. And it's like, hey, this is the home sold for last month. So go get the stats and just put a couple lines in there, like, 50 homes sold, the high was here, blah, blah, blah. This is not a big reading exercise. It's, hey, here's the highlights of the market. That affected your home value. Go here to get your free home value, right? And that's kind of what it's doing, right? So you want to definitely use that in that kind of like small development area. And Kat, it sounds like you might live in that area, which is cool. You can do that. You can buy your own little hyperlink if you want to be like, Kat Rockstar of my neighborhood kind of thing. And you can pop that in there too, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, great tip. What about when you mailing out the letters? Yeah. On the envelope, keep it custom, Kat. I mean, if you're talking about a neighborhood, and I don't know how big that neighborhood, but let's just say it's maximum 500 homes. I would first look for people with equity, right? Like they own that home for 5 years. And then I would get a super great envelope that you're going to use over time. So buy it in bulk, because this kind of thing, it'll work in one shot. Like your first time, it'll probably work. But just like the nearby homeowner letter that I mentioned earlier in the Mastermind Group, when you start using it every 2 weeks and they know like, oh, well, this is that special home value report, right? If you're trying to dominate a neighborhood, you're branding, you're building a brand to dominate that neighborhood. Sometimes that has to do with the envelope, right? Or a logo that's on it, or a sticker or something like that. I don't know, but if you're living in a super hot area and you want to own it, you gotta, there's a few steps to owning that. So that's the landing page side. And I definitely recommend that you are creating a landing page for every market that you're working in, right? Like this is Modesto in California, right? Central Valley. If you drive 15 minutes in 4 directions, there are 4 different towns. You want a landing page for every one of those towns if you want business in those towns, right? Then you customize it so that you know that you're talking about the right place, and you go get that letter and you go find people with equity in that town and you mail that out. That's the best way of doing that, right? Now, all that being said, I did mention that we're going to have a company that's going to stuff envelopes and mail it out, and even you'll be able to say like, I want 100 pieces in the zip code and I want X number of years of equity. Like that's going to be done by our partner, and I can't wait to tell all of you guys like that is live. So, but in the meantime, you need listings probably now. I imagine 90% of you could use more listings. That's the way that you do it today. You get it there, okay? So that's the landing page section. So we talked about listings tools, landing pages. Let's talk about ads. Now, I'm gonna jump real quickly because Kat asked a question about her neighborhood, okay? Her neighborhood, this development. So you know that I created a landing page. So if I click on create a landing page ad and I go down to my custom ones, I got custom landing property valuation plus. So here's my Release Valley, okay? And I'm gonna type it now. I don't even know. Oh, this is the zip code. This is not how you target it. Yeah, so that's just where you get the backup data. I click create an ad for Release Valley, and I want to talk to you about this. And this is the broader discussion of why home value ads don't work. Okay. Now I'm going to do it anyway. This is in the town of Lafayette, but I want to do it so that you guys understand why it doesn't work and why it's still valuable to do, but you need to understand this. So Facebook does not allow you to tighten your radius less than 15 miles. That's the bottom line, right? That's the bottom line of why you are going to waste money on that. Well, there's kind of two reasons. One, you can't target, and two, realtors have been doing this for so long that they're not biting that hook anymore. You know what I mean? This is Lafayette here, guys, in California. And all of this section that you see in the map, that's roughly a 15-mile radius. But I'm trying to target Release Valley, which is, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little thing of a person hiking here. There's a little green spot, that's Release Valley, okay? So I can't target that. I can't even target Lafayette anymore. That's why I don't talk about Facebook with these kinds of things. That being said, if you have budget, I would still run the ad on the off chance that people in that small community are going to see your brand. Because when you're running the ad, it says sponsored by your business page. This is a big reason why all of you should be running multiple ads every week, is that you're building your brand. Every ad is seen by 1,000 to 3,000 people. So you're going to overlap Release Valley, but you can't even target Release Valley. That's why it's not super effective. It's effective for you to run ads, multiple ads every week to reinforce your brand. Then you're dovetailing that with your print campaigns. And if you got a big database, you're using our EFlyer, so you're hammering the same people from their email. This is really effective marketing for any industry, right? But for you as a realtor to say, I'm going to hit them on email, I'm going to hit them in social media, and I'm going to hit them in print. If you want to dominate areas, people, it's going to take all that, okay? I wish I could tell you, hey, go over here to Facebook and in 15 seconds run a home value ad and we're just going to change your life. 5 years ago, I'd have been telling you that every week. I'm not telling you that today, okay? So I hope we're clear with each other on this one. Kat, I live in Canada, so you can create that letter. You can't get an instant valuation in Canada. That data set doesn't exist, and I'm not, we don't have the data points even. We don't even create our own value estimates here inside the company. So no, you can still use the landing page and get the address and then kind of say, I'm going to have a different follow-up. I'm going to reach out to them. A lot of people, and let me take you back to the Mastermind Group. You know, when you get an address, and actually I had an office reach out to me today. We have an office client who was like, hey, we're getting listing leads from our listings, but I just got the address, right? And what is it, you know, what does that mean? And so what that means is, I'm going to go back to Chris Winstead because I want to show you something that he's doing. What that means is they filled out the address, and when we asked them for the email, they just left. They didn't even want to give you the email, right? I thought it was down here somewhere. Yeah, But I want to kind of point out, this is Chris, this is that guy that's like just blowing up in San Antonio. And I mentioned it to you, when he gets a lead, he follows them up. Like he follows up with bomb messages, video, letters left at the door, right? He's just saying like, I'm busy, I'm working, but I want you to know I'm here for you. So yeah, so Kat, this is really a story for you, but for all agents, because many agents are going to get listing leads without if they're driving to a property valuation landing page, you can very often get an address but no home value, but no contact. They're still workable. That's still something that you can work with. Alita, no, that's not Mail Power. I'm not sure what Mail Power is, but it's called Express Copy. But you can use our letter with any company. Like you can download it and email it. There are plenty of print companies out there. We're just working with this one because they have a software integration that can make it easy for our clients. John, you said 50 miles. I said 15. That's true for Facebook advertising, no matter what you're advertising, okay? Now I'm going to click on a sold property here and show you how to run an ad. This is a sold property. And what I was talking about is that radius, you cannot shrink tighter than 15 miles, okay? This is on Facebook. For anybody in the United States, you cannot shrink your radius. And I don't know, Kat, do you know anything about Canada? Like running an ad, over here, you cannot shrink it less than 15 miles, okay? So that's what I'm talking about, John, okay? So, and that means, and so here, let's go, this is in Auburn. Now, I don't know Auburn. Let's just go look. Let's just go look real quick. Bear with me. Auburn, Indiana. Auburn, Indiana. So there is, you know, sold ads can work even with the limitations that Facebook is giving us. So this is Auburn. I don't even know where it is, but looks like a small town to me. Yeah, that looks like a small town. Yeah. So if I'm overshooting 15 miles, I'm covering a bunch of farmland and I'm going to hit Waterloo and Garrett, right? So will that work? Because this is saying, you know, it's sold in Auburn. It's not saying that this is just for Auburn home values. So this can work, but I do want to say something. And definitely put your questions. I see a lot of good questions. I'm going to answer them all. Let me tell you, sold ads work, but if you're going to do a sold ad, you've got to take an extra step. You got to click advanced options down here. And you got to scroll down and you got to get to this primary text, because you know it's a wild market out there. And when you're selling a home, you are selling homes so fast, right? I don't know about you, but I have this conversation every week. It's been, you know, I'm selling homes. They're in contract in, you know what I heard last week? 24 hours, right? Sold, you know, 10K above asking. 8 offers. I mean, no, I think they said they got 11 offers. And, you know, 10 buyers still looking, right? If you got any of these data points, you need to add this to your ad. Notice that when I type it in the left here, it shows up on the right so that when I push the ad, it's going to have that. See, here's the thing, guys. You guys are realtors, right? This is your profession. For homeowners, selling their home is right up there with root canals. It's not like a fun project, right? It's not something that's going to be done quickly. It's painful, and you want to give them the incentive of why they need to get their home value with you. If you can do it quickly, it's in there, you know, and you can get them top dollar. I've even seen people write like sold 15K above Zillow estimates, right? You need to write that in there. Sometimes just the default language works, but this market is competitive. If you're in a competitive market where there are no listings, you need to click advanced options like I did and go down here and update that primary text. Okay. So Tony has a good question, and it says, can you use custom lists? So Tony, do you have a custom audience in your Facebook account right now? And while he's answering that question, I want to point out that we click, so Tony is building it. How many leads do you have in your list? And where are you building it? Are you building it through us, or are you doing it on your computer? This is a little bit techie, guys, but this is actually super important. And if you are not tech savvy, cool, got it. Thank you, Tony. I'm going to tell a story here that Tony is sharing with me. So we at Listings to Leads, we have been a company for over 12 years now. And we started with a one tool. It was like one-click posting to Craigslist. You guys remember when Craigslist was hot in real estate? Like, we could make a big old page. It looked like a website on Craigslist. It'd have multiple hyperlinks, and we captured so many leads for our clients that people were like, who the heck are these guys? We got to use them. And we took what we learned there and applied it to everything that realtors use, right? And so we've grown over 12 years. And we've really grown because we have really succeeded in getting low-cost leads to our clients. And Scott and I know that, and we're excited we've been able to do that. But right now, we want to kind of change direction a little bit. We're always going to focus on getting more leads, but we want to focus in 2022 and in the future on converting leads, okay? And Tony's question about, can I use a custom list, is really important for all of you if you want to have a future in real estate. You're going to need to convert leads. Capturing leads with email addresses and phone numbers is great, but you don't get paid until you meet them and you get them in a contract and you close a transaction. So how do you convert? One of the great ways is right here, and it's related to Tony's question. How can I use a custom audience? And I know I mentioned I wanted you to write 3 names down at the beginning of the call: Chris Winstead, Alicia Pless, and Dustin Fox. There's also something else I'd like you to write down. I'd like you to write down YouTube, because I want you to go to YouTube. I don't think we have great support on this, but it's part of Facebook. I want you to go to YouTube and learn about custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and special ad category audiences, okay? And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. I have custom audiences turned on inside of Listings to Leads, and Tony has a CRM called Follow Up Us, and he is collecting leads there. Either way, I'm going to show you how you create a custom audience, and you should all create a custom audience if you want to convert those leads. So I'm going to go slow. Feel free to ask me questions, and let me just go down this story now. If you turn on Facebook retargeting and Listings to Leads, we're going to create a custom audience for you. So Tony, you're doing it on your own, and Tony, you might be capturing leads from all kinds of systems. But when I check retargeting here, which it is checked by default, and I say, oh, I want to do the buyer and seller audience, what this is when you turn it on, I'll show you where to turn it on in a minute, we create a custom audience in your private Facebook account, and it will live there. Even if you cancel with us, those leads will live there. In this case, it's all my buyer and seller leads that I've captured with Listings to Leads anywhere. Now, if you've been a client for years, you might have well over 1,000 leads with us, right? I have a client who generated 400 leads last December from one ad on Facebook. So it's not hard to get to thousands of leads, right? Tony has 400 leads in his follow-up boss. So in this case, if you turn on custom audiences and you turn on retargeting, we're going to create a custom audience, and every lead you capture from anywhere is going to go in there, and then you can retarget it right here, okay? So let's talk about what Tony is talking about. And I'm going to click on ads. It is possible to get leads. So this question, what I'm going to describe to you now, is for all of you that have CRMs with hundreds or thousands of leads sitting in. Okay. Now, this isn't a Facebook class, but this is actually kind of, well, we might run long, but I'll spend just a couple of minutes here and then we'll kind of move on and then we can hang out after if you want. Oh no, I actually can't. I'm booked up today. But when you come here the first time, where this green box is, there will be a yellow one and it will say accept custom audience terms. Click it and accept the terms. Then refresh this page and there'll be a green button that says turn on retargeting. Turn it on. And then what I did on the other page is going to be there. But notice that there's a button right here that says create audience. When you click that, it shows you down here what this spreadsheet should look like. You can upload a spreadsheet of your leads. Don't do this unless this spreadsheet is over 1,000 leads long. Facebook won't allow you to target a list of 400 leads, right? Tony, you're working on a list of 400 leads. You could upload it, but they won't allow you to target it. I don't know why. They just want to make sure you have more than 1,000 leads in a file. So if it were me, and Kat, you've got leads, how many leads do you have in sync? Like some of you have bought Zillow leads, some of you bought Realtor.com leads, some of you have leads in your CRM. I would put them all in one Excel file, make sure that the columns look like this little thing here, and then upload it and call it whatever you want to call it, my dusty CRM leads, and import it. And once you do that, then when you create an ad on any subject, you can always retarget. You can go, you know what? I want everybody in Lafayette to see this. And I want all my old leads. Click retarget and then put in the name of your custom audience and it will be there. Okay. So Kat, you have it. So you can do exactly what I just described. I hope you understand. You have over 1,500 leads. I would definitely put those people in your custom audience inside the account, just like I did, just like I was showing you just now, right? Because every time you run an ad, Kat, you should always target that custom audience. You see how mine is branded by listings to leads? Yours is going to be branded by Kat the Rockstar Realtor, right? And you're going to be targeting, I don't know, someplace in Canada and everybody in that list, so that, again, you're hitting them in sync, the CRM, they're getting emails from you. Now they're going to see you on Facebook and on Instagram, right? That's what you want to do. And hopefully, Kat, you're going to get a print letter out there. That's an awesome picture. It's you're dominating the area. That's what you're trying to do there. So let's go back to ads, and I clicked on it just to show you. But one of the important things I showed you, that you can create a sold ad, right? But what if you don't have any listings at all, and you can go to a PDF guide ad? We have PDF guides for buyers and for sellers. We have more than 25 PDF reports here. You are branded on every page of every report, okay? We got all kinds of topics here. So you decide what topic you want to talk about. Do you have divorce and real estate in your area? Because we got a report on divorce and real estate right here. I'll bet you somebody in Lafayette is thinking about getting divorced, right? Yeah. All I got to do is retarget my current leads because I want to stay in front of them and click publish. And for them to download that report, they have to give you their name, phone number, and email. Okay, that's really what I want. You know, the PDF reports, every one of you, like, remember I was saying, like, you need to be running a couple ads every week. You need to be running probably one PDF guide ad minimally every week. I would recommend that if you want more listings, that you run a seller PDF guide every week, and you run any other listing marketing ads same week, every week, right? So people know that you got open houses, they know that you got things coming, they know that you sold things. Even if you're marketing a sold ad every week, week after week, they're going to see that. You're going to build your brand, and at the same time, you're saying, hey, you know what? Let's talk about curb appeal this week, right? Yes. Okay. So, does everybody understand that? Kat's got a question. Well, let's see. Let's see who we got. I had an issue placing a Facebook ad. I would contact customer service. Yes. I don't know what your issue is. Yeah. Just seeing the upload customer report. Can you show us how that works? Sure, Tamara. So, guys, I would load up the questions. I'm going to jump in about 3 minutes. This call is being recorded, but let's click on create a PDF guide. So what if you have like a super awesome PDF report that you want to run an ad on? You see this big green button? Click it. Is it for buyers or for sellers? Your choice. I'm going to say sellers. Maybe it's for homeowners. And over here, you upload the report. You change your text. Maybe you want to update this and you publish. That's how that works, Tamara. Okay. Start by clicking the green button. Can I download those reports and use them on my website? Yes, you can, Tony. If you go to where we were in ads, and one thing I didn't mention, but it is worth mentioning, when I go to PDF guides, every one of these has a little round button on it that you can download it. But Tony, let's say that I don't know what your branding's all about, but if I say, you know what, I'm gonna change my look. Well, not that looks just too much. Let's do Howard Hanna, like we have some agency stuff, but you can change the colors in there so that it really matches what you're doing. Okay, so yeah, Tony, definitely download them. Yeah, so we have Berkshire Hathaway here. Yeah, click here, right there. I would do that. I would do that, Tony, like before you start using these things, because your logo and your name is on every page of these reports. So, hopefully that helps. Any other questions, guys? Okay, I'm not able to rewind your videos 10 seconds to recapture something that you said. This video is being recorded. Oh, yeah, we do have a listing presentation. Good question. This video, Leah, is being recorded. It's in the Mastermind group. It will be in a couple of hours. Give me a second. All of you, honestly, if you go to the dashboard, this tab over here, there is a listing presentation. And since this is on getting listings, I will tell you, you can download the presentation at the bottom. You can download it right here. This video here shows you how to change the logo. This listing presentation is so old school. We need to refresh it, and I'm really sorry that we haven't. Use the support team to get in the Mastermind group. There's a support page on your account. Watch these videos. All of you watch these videos. We're talking about getting listings. Watch these videos. I swear to you, they are going to help you in that listing presentation. These are made by our clients telling you why they're closing every listing appointment that they're on, because they're leveraging our platform. So I would watch those videos. I download that listing presentation down here. I'd watch this video to customize the logo and go get yourself some listing leads and listing appointments and get this thing straight, okay? Any other questions, people? Alex and all of you, use the Mastermind group, use the support page in your accounts down here bottom left. Just say, hey, please get me in the Mastermind group, and they will help you get in the Mastermind group. Well, guys, thanks for all the questions. I appreciate it. You're welcome. I got to get going because I have another call starting in 2 minutes. But thanks for all the questions. This will be in the Mastermind group. Get in there and let us know what's working with you guys. And I definitely, we love your feedback. Kat, keep us up to date on Canada. We're actually working on the Canadian data feed. We're trying to figure out, we've got a relationship with Korea now. We just need to sort out getting listings automatically for Canada, and then we'll be getting crazy about that too. Take care, everybody. Keep safe. Get more listings, and lean on our support team. They're awesome. They'll help you out. Thanks.